Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you guys a sort of different Cardfight Vanguard video today in this segment. With the release of the new GB14 Dragon Deities Chronicle booster set announced in Vanguard, I wanted to do my thoughts and opinions on the Zeroth dragons for the ones we have already released and the ones that are yet to be released in the upcoming booster packs. The Zeroth dragons are dragons in the new Cardfight Vanguard series that are basically used by the new villains in the series, in which they have outgoing and powerful abilities that basically change the game based on that stride, and so powerful that they take away the stride power from the user after they are first used. Now, what's interesting about these units, and from what we've seen so far from them, is that they each have pretty much introduced an ability that would benefit each nation that uses that ability for the said card. And basically for each, we've gotten effects that either broke the limit, excuse my choice of words there, for each card, and they've also basically gone the max for how far each ability can be taken. Before that, we'll talk about each individual dragon, my thoughts of what the dragons that have yet to be revealed effects will be, and also just, my opinions on the ones we have already released. And we'll also be talking about this big guy you see here, Dragon Deity of Destruction Geese, which is the main antagonist of the latest season of Cardfight Vanguard. His ability is yet unknown, and he is also unknown as to what clan he will be a part of, but we will get to this part pretty much at the end of the video. I thought I'd start off since they showed basically what is the official art with the release of the new name for Dragon Deities Chronicle GB14, and that he will be a Z-Rare in that set. But let's go ahead and start off with the first Z-Rare that was ever announced, and that is Zeroth Dragon of Distant Sea Megiddo. This was the first effect revealed in the series and officially for GB13, and it got released along with Inferno Drachma in the latest GBT13 Ultimate Stride. Its ability basically works with all three of the Magdalenica clans. With a Counterblast 2, when placed on Vanguard, you choose up to 5 cards in total from your hand and drop zone, call them to separate rears till the end of this turn. They get plus 5,000, and at the end of the battle that this unit attacked, choose one of your other rear guards and you may exchange positions with this unit. Now, what's key about Megiddo is that it basically took aspects from all 3 of the clans from Magdalenica and put them into one card. The call effect from the the drop zone, the call effect from the hand for Aquaforce, and same goes for Bermuda. The multiple attack changing columns from Aquaforce is a big one on this card, one that probably will benefit that clan the most. But what I have to say most about this card, and a trending pattern that we'll see with the next 2 Z-Rares as well, is that it basically, like I said, took that mechanic that is specifically played in those 3 clans and maximized it to its fullest potential with this card. Now, a lot of people are calling the Zeroth dragons underwhelming, but you have to understand that there are, limits to how far a card can go, and this card is no exception. You have multiple attack power, plus power, and also column changing power, all played out into this card. If you were to say the max potential for an Aquaforce card would be basically every unit having the potential to attack, not even, with the added effect of Thavas's abilities on the wave attack from the back row. You have basically column shifting with this unit, and power plus effects, and call power, which is consistency on all 3 levels based on this Zeroth dragon. So you've basically taken each aspect and basically put out the full maximum potential that each one had available in this one card. Moving on, we have Zeroth Dragon of Inferno Drachma. Now, after the reveal of the second card, Drachma, we started to see a shift, not so much in just what, a card's abilities can do, but also in different mechanics introduced, which Drachma introduced retiring the Vanguard, which not too many people thought that the play was possible, since the rules specified in Vanguard you always had to have a Vanguard to be able to continue the game in a proper state. But it gave us a ruling that you could basically choose a card from your hand and make it the new Vanguard, or if you didn't have any in your hand, choose a card from your soul and make it the new Vanguard, giving us a whole new option laid out in front of us with this Z-Rare for potential cards in the future as well to be used for retiring the Vanguard. It's just a whole slew of cards, including field retiring and binding with this card, which I basically played into Nubatama, Kagero, Narukami, you name it, with those abilities, and taking into account just something that could benefit all the clans from the Dragon Empire. With this, you have potential for Tachikaze and Murakumo, just to have that unit that could help late in game get rid of some of your opponent's pesky units. But what this did is take retiring to the new level where old units could just retire rear guards. This one bumped up a level and retired the Vanguard with its ability. And the last of the known Zeroth dragons we have is Zeroth Dragon of Death Guardian, Zoa. This one was revealed last Saturday with its ability. All of them share the Counterblast 2, also pay that in mind, and the cost to discard the same card as a unit on your Vanguard. But with this one, we had the ability revealed that this unit cannot be chosen by card effects, and its power will always be 99,999. Not 99,999. Sorry if I mixed that up there. And when this unit deals damage to your opponent's Vanguard, your opponent loses the game. This is a key play on the Neo Nectar aspect of the deck, which I'm seeing a hint pattern for each one of the Z-Rares we have, that each one of them kind of favors one clan from the nation overall. And this one you can definitely see a hint of Neo Nectar as the powerful one there, mostly because of the call effect and the power plus, which is basically Neo Nectar's entire gimmick for that plus power. But you see a whole new game-changing aspect here is that when this unit deals damage to your opponent's Vanguard, your opponent loses the game. Now this, all in all, if you don't block this attack, you lose right then and there, no matter what gets placed off of there. It's a very easy, if you know what you're doing, effect to play around if you can block the attack. But once again, it's something that we haven't seen in the game yet either. With that boost of power, it's just an automatic infinite boost, what they called it in the anime, and a guaranteed draw and call effect, which you can kind of see we have that kind of shared with Great Nature as well as Neo Nectar, since they both have the call and the boost power option available to them. Not so much related to Mega Colony, but it can be used in Mega Colony, since this could basically be used in any deck for its power option there. It's a very interesting one that they gave to Zoo. Don't get me wrong there. I didn't think they would go in this direction. But after I saw this unit, that's when the patterns really came to me, and I really wanted to make a video on it, just showing what these cards are doing for the game. They're basically giving us different abilities for each nation, ones that either take an ability they had already and just make it entirely broken, or introduce something completely key new like they did here with Zoa. Drachma and Megiddo, they maxed out Aquaforce and Kagero's potential with these two units. But with this one, like I said, the game-winning aspect wasn't something they had to add, but they added it in just for that final key finisher. Because a power unit is a power unit, but one that could finish off your opponent faster than your Vanguard is a whole other story altogether. Now, I went through these 3 Z-Rare since we already have them revealed, but we still have 3 more that we have to get, and that's Zeroth Dragon Stark, Zeroth Dragon Dust, and Zeroth Dragon Ultima. 3 that we haven't revealed yet. Stark will most likely be the one revealed next, since the Stargate booster pack is getting support revealed now. Now, what we have to think about with Stark is that all the other clans play into aspect of one favorable unit. Stark might turn in Nova Grappler, in which we get restand power. It might go with basically Link Joker with a lock aspect, and it might even go with Dimension Police for a power aspect. Now with Zoo, we've already achieved 1 power aspect. So one key thing that came to my mind with Stark is if we're going to see a restand aspect with this unit, my biggest thought on this card would be, what if we had a Vanguard restand power that basically went beyond and above other restand powers we've seen in the game today? Now, with the latest Dragonic Overlord unit, the Purge, he receives the drive check for every damage your opponent has. What if with Stark, they went even further than that? It was my guess would be possibly something kind of on the terms of the Rebirth, just going off of cards like Victoplasma, Dimension Police, and their restand power punch. If they did something to limit as to only what your Vanguard could do, but gave it a restand capability that it keeps on restanding based on some aspect, whether it be how much damage you have or your opponent has, giving Stark that many restands, or basing it upon some other aspect that affects the game, whether it be that this card will keep on restanding until it hits, or it has a set amount of restands based on how big of a cost you play. That's one of my big key thoughts in what Stark might be. Infinite restand power, as far as infinite can go in this game for restanding, because there's only so much you can do before you really grind down your opponent. But another aspect I thought would be the power option, but like I said, Zoo already did that mechanic with Zoa, so I'm kind of counting that one out at the moment. And then lastly, with the lock one, it would have to be something that hasn't been done before, and they've locked the Vanguard with delete. They've locked rear guards in which they can't be unlocked, which have already been done. So the last thing I had to go with was just potential of restand, like I already stated, and that this card might just have that power, that it could restand and restand until it definitely and guaranteed hits your opponent's Vanguard. That's my biggest guess with Stark. It's something I'll stick with, and until we actually see it, it might even blow me out of the water in whole when we do finally see it. Next is Zeroth, Dragon of Demise, Dust. Now, the main thing that I want to bring into mind with Dust is that the main user of this unit will be Dark Irregulars. Now, we don't know for sure who is going to use Stark. We kind of already saw when they revealed the villains in Cardfight Vanguard G, who was going to be using what and what deck they'd be used with. Now, Mega Colony was using Zoa, Aquaforce used Megiddo, and Kagero used Drachma. Each one favored that deck. Now, we don't know really who is going to use Stark yet, whether it's going to be gifted to Ibuki or something like that. That might happen. Same can be said with the final one, Ultima. This might be given into a brainwashed Shion or something like that. So much potential to consider. But with Dust, we are kind of confirmed that it's going to be used by the Dark Irregular villain in these series. So we can kind of lean his effect toward what Dark Irregular specializes, and that is soul charging. And not only does Dark Irregular specialize in that, they also specialize with Pale Moon using that card effect for soul buildup, and Gear Chronicle may also be a potential use for this card, but I think it will lean more towards soul related effects with Dust based on the look of the card and, like I said, the user. Now, the biggest thing that they could probably do when it comes to soul is sort of a Gilda Ray's related effect, which has been done, but they also have tried restanding capabilities with Dark Irregulars. The biggest thing that I could probably see is either they, like I said, going far and beyond units that they've already done. They could do something related to the soul with your deck, and maybe like a total soul charge of your entire deck, and base it on something that doesn't end you the game with you decking out. Now, they've already taken with Drachma and shifted around key rules about losing your Vanguard and how that won't affect the actual game at hand, since you will have a Vanguard to replace. My thoughts with Dust is, what if they took the same aspect or rulings? I say aspect a lot in this video. I apologize for that. What if they take the same key concept with Dust, with the deck, in which they basically have you soul charge the entire deck into your soul for this ability, and as a result, they give you some sort of special ability, or in some way, maybe take the soul out of your deck from your soul of your unit and the soul from your deck, and swap places with them. So the cards in your soul will become your deck, and the cards in your deck will become your soul. It's kind of like a swap soul kind of aspect. So you know what cards will be in your deck since they were in your soul, and all the cards that were in your deck now in your soul. If that makes sense to you, I'm trying to take it into the best way they could possibly make it, so to get this unit at its full potential. Whether it be a plus 5,000 power for each card in your soul ability after that, making this power potential incredible, or having some sort of guard restriction, which if you have a guard restriction and that plus power with that many cards in Soul being the case, either you have a perfect guard or you're definitely going to lose against this attack. Now, the one thing that I doubt the plus power thing will play into this, just because we have the 25,000k power being a thing for the Z rares, and they really want to go off of that 36 power for the Vanguard alone. They could do something with a rear guard again, either giving the rear guard twin drive. It's been done before with United Sanctuary. I could see them do it again. Or they might even give us a new mechanic in total with Dark Irregulars that we haven't seen yet. Maybe Dark Zone, or we'll be receiving some new darkness abilities that will play into what this Z-Dragon can do. I definitely see the deck and the soul swapping, or soul build up to max potential being a big key factor for Dust. The last one I want to talk about is Zeroth Dragon of Zenith Ultima. The biggest thing I have about this card, and what I also had when kind of thinking of effects for Stark, were just who is going to use this card in the series. Now, he does give off a huge Royal Paladin and Gold Paladin sort of tone to his card design, which makes me think a Royal Paladin user might be the one behind this card. Like I said, I don't know why I think of Shion so much when it comes to users of this card. It might happen, it may not. We'll have to wait and see. They've done effects where you can call a specific number of units from your deck to the field. Whether they, have it so the units called get power increased by the total amount of all the units they call, if that's really going to be the effect. And it's a guarantee, call whatever you want from the deck with this unit, and if you do, they receive that total amount of power. Potentially they can receive, with if you call 2 11Ks and 3 7Ks to the back row, that's at least 43,000 power to each unit, which is immensely powerful. We've seen very powerful United Sanctuary units reach high numbers before with Angel Feather and the Paladins alike. And if that is the key ability of this, you can have perfect field setup and whatnot for all the decks, and that really benefits any of the decks in the United Sanctuary to have the right rear guards on the field, which it would be kind of a dull, lackluster Z Dragon if they did do this. But other than that, my last theory with Ultima is that they do have sort of a, kind of angel-like appearance to him as well. So whether it be you heal all your damage, which I think would not even be fair. One, it doesn't relate to anything but Angel Feather, but it would also be completely unfair if you were at 5 damage compared to your opponent. I apologize, was going off on a long tangent there, and just wanted to get my full wording out on all 6 of the Zeroth Dragons, because I think they are immensely cool, all 6 of them, just not just in art, but also in abilities that these cards have. That's my key thoughts on the 6 Zeroth Dragons. I also have my final thoughts on what I think Geese is going to be. Now, I think his abilities are going to play into having all 6 of the Zeroth Dragons in your G-Zone. They've made rulings and exceptions for Glendios before with this card ability, so I don't see why they couldn't do that with Geese as well in the Stride Zone. Now, another key hint here is what clan he will be for. My guess is Gear Chronicle, only because they've chosen Chrono to be the vessel for Geese, meaning he'd obviously have to use his own deck with this unit. And I was thinking of a kind of perma-stride, where either this is a grade 3 unit, or it is a stride that once stridden permanently stays on the Vanguard. You can't have any other stride units as long as he remains on the Vanguard, and they either limit you to what rear guards you can call. Maybe you can't call any rear guards to have him on your Vanguard, limiting both you and your actions, but also giving your opponent a fighting chance against having like a 15k power permanently on your Vanguard and having to attack into a 26k each turn if that is the energy that it keeps. Another thing that I thought, if we get some ability that involves either you having to unflip all 6 of the Zeroth Dragons in your G-Zone to achieve Geese's final and ultimate ability. The hint was obviously the 6 lights that are on him, maybe some kind of depiction that all 6 will be unlocked and his full power will be revealed. And he also, his quote, overturning the common sense of Vanguard, meaning we're going to get something. I don't know how they can, beat a game-winning mechanic. They've given us Demiurge, in which we restack the top of the deck. They've given us Glendios, which when, they're all locked on your opponent's side of the field, you win the game. I want to see what they do with Geese. I want to see what can beat actually winning the game, and I want to see what can beat stacking the deck to your favor. And having to achieve this by, if possibly, having or needing to have all 6 of the Zeroth dragons in some way in your G zone. I don't know what you do with them. I don't know if you flip them up. I don't know if you have to just meet the specific requirements each turn with them. That's what's fun about these dragons. That's what I'm interested to see with the remaining 3 to be released, and with Geese just around the corner seeing what he can do. But that was just a quick, not so much quick, I really went off on these cards. But like I said, I'm really, really excited for them. They're going to be really cool once we get them this month for set 13. Can't wait till we get the other ones. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. What do you think these Zeroth dragons will do for us in total, as a whole, with Geese and on their own, potentially effect-wise? I hope you all enjoyed my little discussion here. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, Kira Qualia out.